AITA for not wanting daughters because I might mistreat them. I came from a broken family and was heavily neglected as a child. This led me to be a high-functioning but also deeply flawed individual. My 35M came from a typical nuclear family. They have issues and disagreements, but he generally had a good, normal childhood with good-natured parents. We recently got engaged and started talking about family planning. This led him to saying he would love to be a girl dad, and he always thought it was cool to see dads bonding with their little princesses. I didn't speak much, and when he asked me what I preferred, I told him it's best not to pursue this topic. He kept insisting, and I eventually relented and said I grew up with a narcissistic mother and my father doesn't recognize me as his kid because he wanted a son. I raised myself, and I can't imagine raising someone with a princess ideology just because she was born with a vagina. Boy or girl, I will treat them the same and be harsh with them if I have to. And honestly, I would much prefer a boy if you intend on having a daughter as a princess. If we have daughters and you treat them like princesses, I'll mistreat them because parenting is not a Disney life concept, it's setting morals, rules, and boundaries at a young age. He was caught off guard. He asked if I was serious and I said yes. Everything was awkward after that as we both agreed it's best we need to cool our heads first. A few days after we came back to the topic and he still insists that he would like to raise his daughters as princesses. It's his duty to provide and protect for them, and as the man of the house, he wishes to instill in them standards of what men should be like and what their responsibilities are. I agreed to some extent. I then asked him if his sisters were treated as princesses by their father. He has 2 older ones, and he said yes. I then asked him if he has any resentment against them for having special treatment. He was silent. He hated how his sisters are spoiled and self-centered daddy's girl. They grew up to be typical mean girls who peaked in high school. I saw his eyes widened. I can tell he wanted to say something but couldn't, and I just sat there waiting for him to respond. He then had this angry look on his face and walked out. He's been gone 2 hours and I don't know if he'll be home for dinner. So Reddit, AITA? I may be the AH because he was really looking forward to a picturesque daddy-daughter relationship and I ruined it for him. Edit. I commented an update on another post but thought I would write it here as well. My BF and I went through the comments together and unfortunately, he's giving me a NTA verdict despite popular opinion. He realized he was jaded with his father-daughter ideals. We both don't want to emulate how our parents raised. When he was away, he called his mother and asked her opinion on our conversation. His mother agreed with me 100%. She also said it was very difficult for her to raise his sisters because they would run to their father every time they got upset. As toddlers it was cute, but it became worse as they grew older. She doesn't wish it upon us or anyone she loves SILs, but she agrees with my perspective to nip the princess act in the bud. All our children will be special and we are bound to think they are the most precious being in the world. She suggested for all of us to have brunch with her and my FIL and she can give me parenting stories directly. My BF agreed and we are seeing them next weekend. My BF and I also talked in length about my fears about parenting due to my childhood. He apologized for not realizing how insensitive it is for him to be carefree because he had the security of both his parents. He knew about the neglect but didn't realize how deeply it affects my fears about parenting. So despite the overwhelming negative post against me, according to my MIL, I am right, and according to my BF, I'm NTA. Thank you to those who gave genuine advice. We also reflected on these and helped fuel our discussion in a more productive place.